Well, Julie and Rob, I spoke with the Board of Regents chair over the phone today, and Paul Kenny wouldn't say if he thinks Ronnie Green should step down as the UNL chancellor, but he did say Green's diversity plan will be a topic of discussion at their meeting this Friday. Two Nebraska senators call for the resignation of University of Nebraska-Lincoln Chancellor Ronnie Green following the release of the university's diversity plan. In a joint letter, lawmakers Steve Erdman and Steve Halloran say Nebraska's state colleges and universities are, quote, devolving at an alarming rate. And despite University President Ted Carter insisting critical race theory is not being taught on campus, they believe it's become normalized and standardized throughout the NU system.
I was misled by Ronnie Green.
The letter follows Governor Pete Ricketts' remarks in a news conference last week where he said he lost faith in Green and felt misled by his plans. Board of Regents Chair Paul Kenny tells me over the phone he also feels he wasn't informed of all aspects of the plan.
I know that some of the lawmakers are not happy and the governor is not happy, but probably I would fall into that category because I was one of the last ones to know about the journey.
The journey is Green's plan called Journey for Anti-Racism and Racial Equity. Ricketts again talked about his disappointment of the diversity proposal Monday on his statewide radio show. He feels it includes critical race theory, something he is against, but he stopped short of calling for Green to step down.
This really makes it obvious why the administration was opposing Regent Jim Pillen's resolution to ban critical race theory on the campus of the University of Nebraska, for their staff, because they were planning on doing it, which is really kind of the shocking thing about this, or one of the shocking things.
But the governor didn't say if he thinks Green should resign, and Regents Chair Kenny wouldn't discuss that either. Do you think Ronnie Green should resign?
I don't really have an opinion of that right now. I'm for sure not very happy with the way things came about.
Well, again, University of President Ted Carter has insisted critical race theory is not part of the plan and says it will not be taught on campus. Still, the governor encourages Nebraskans to get a hold of the regents either by email or give them a call or come to Friday's meeting during public comments to voice their opinion about the plan. We did reach out to Chancellor Green's office again today, but they declined my request for an interview. Rob, back to you.